In my last video, I had shared with all of you my least favorite aquarium that I have and why, and kind of gave you the whole background as far as why I set that tank up and why I wasn't in love with it. Well, today I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to tell you which of my tanks down here in this room, so we're not going to include the tanks upstairs, but which of them in this room is my favorite. Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks. Now before I get into this video, I do want to ask you to please subscribe to this channel and to also hit that notification bell. There are some exciting things coming up. I'm going to be doing some traveling here pretty soon. Not going to tell you, well, I guess I can tell you kind of. I'm going to Aquascape. I'm actually speaking at Aquascape. So obviously I'll have some footage and some videos that I make there while I'm there. But also there's some other really big things in the works that I can't tell you about. But by the time this video comes out, probably the next day, you'll find out the big news. So I will put a link down below in the description, a link to what that big news is so that you can go check that out. So anyway, enough with that. So let's talk about my favorite aquarium down here in this fish room. Now, if you're not familiar with this fish room, you can watch a video up here, which is kind of a tour of all of my aquariums. That one's a few months old. I'm actually due for a new one, so we'll do a new update here in the coming weeks. But down here in this room, we have 23 aquariums. All of them now are fresh or brackish water. We got rid of the saltwater tank. And I have everything in here from African cichlids to East African, West African, Tanganyikan. We've got brackish fish, mudskippers, puffers, live bears, corridoras, South American cichlids, Central American cichlids, shell dwellers, all kinds of stuff down here. But there's one tank in particular that I love more than any of the others, and I really do like a lot of my tanks, but there's one tank down here that I love more than others. That one is back there, and obviously I'm going to have some B-roll to show you guys. That is my Indian mudskipper brackish setup. Now, the reason why this is my favorite tank is for many reasons actually. So I'm just going to kind of, I don't even have a list written down or a script. I'm just going to kind of go off the top of my head. But one of the reasons why I really like that tank is the scape itself. So this was a tank that I really took some time in developing and kind of thinking about how I wanted to set it up. I had the tank all set up before I got the fish that were going in there. So I knew how I wanted it to be. I knew that I wanted to have a waterfall. I knew that I wanted to have a land area, and I kind of had an idea as far as the water and everything. I knew what fish were going to go in there. So that was really good. Oftentimes we'll kind of, get a tank and set it up and, maybe we're not really 100% sure how it's going to be or how it's going to turn out. This was one that I really planned out. So if you're going to set up an aquarium, my advice to you is to set up the tank before you get the fish. So obviously you want to know what kind of fish that you're going to get. That's very helpful. And then set it up in a way that those fish that you're going to get are going to thrive, and it's something that you're going to really enjoy. Because I tell you, the more you enjoy the way an aquarium looks or the way it is and how easy it is to take care of, etc., the more time you're going to spend enjoying it, taking care of it, loving it, versus something that you really don't like. It kind of gets neglected. So I really do like the aesthetic of that Indian mudskipper tank that I have with the waterfall, with the water area for the bumblebee gobies. Just very, very happy with how it turned out. Now, if I could, in a perfect world, I would have a larger setup the exact same way. So maybe instead of a 3-foot long 40-gallon tank, maybe a 40-gallon, or maybe we would have done like a 55-gallon 4-foot tank, or a 75-gallon 4-foot tank, with the same idea in mind. And maybe that's something that I might do in the future. Obviously over here we have the African mudskippers and their setup, but it's not nearly as cool as that Indian mudskipper tank. Now the other reason why I really enjoy that tank is I love the fish that are in there. So I do have a very nice kind of relationship between the bumblebee gobies in there and the Indian mudskippers. Both the mudskippers and the bumblebees are both gobies. Mudskippers are part of the goby family. They are, in fact, true fish. And they just get along very well. I don't have any issues. One doesn't bother the other. The bumblebees are too large for the Indian mudskippers to mess with, so they don't mess with each other. They pretty much will eat the same food. I can actually feed the Indian mudskippers on the rocks, and I don't even have to sometimes feed the bumblebee gobies, because what will happen is I'll put food on the rocks. The mudskippers will go up there, they'll get their mouthful, they'll get it on their bodies, and then they'll dip in the water, and they're essentially feeding the bumblebee gobies by them being messy eaters. So they'll go up, they'll grab some flake food, they'll grab some pellets or whatever, they'll get in the water and it comes off of them, and then the bumblebee gobies can eat it. So that's kind of one of the fun things that I do sometimes depending on the food. Now obviously I do make sure that I feed the bumblebee gobies, and I will put food directly in the water for them, but it just is a good relationship. I love the color balance, the size balance. It just really works for me, and I really do enjoy it. Now, in addition to the mudskippers and the gobies in there, we do have some nearite snails. Now, this is brackish water. So brackish water is a mixture of fresh water and salt water. So both the bumblebee goby and the Indian mudskipper really do need that brackish water. Now, I know that people have kept bumblebee gobies in freshwater, and they can, depending on the type of freshwater that you have, you know, the minerals in there, etc. And also, Indian mudskippers can also survive in freshwater, but really they need that brackish water for the mineral content. So when I make my brackish water, I'm using a reef salt from Fritz Aquatics, and it's got the right amount of minerals that the fish need in order to you know, thrive in that brackish environment. So it's just a very cool setup with the snails and the gobies and the mudskippers. And I just love how easy it is to care for. For an aquarium that is, you know, half land, half water, you know, I've got a waterfall in there, a couple of types of filtration because of the waterfall. We've got the mangroves growing out the top. Despite all of that, it's very easy to care for. And again, if you have something that's easy to take care of, and it looks good, and you like the fish that are in there, it's pretty much a win-win-win. So anyway, that's just a quick video talking about my favorite aquarium. Now, we do have a lot down here. So if you've been around for a while, or if you're new to the channel, either way, I would love to read down below in the comments what your favorite aquarium is that I have, whether it's upstairs or in this room. And also I want to know what your favorite fish is that I have. Now, I know that some of the fish that I have, people aren't very familiar with in some cases, but still some of you might find them interesting. So anyway, comment down below your thoughts on what you think about my tank, what your favorite tank is down here, what your favorite fish is down here. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell, because we do have some fun stuff coming up in the future. I guarantee it. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.